Hello, Adam here. Very glad to have you again. Today, I've got a painting that'll give you a little bit of a challenge, but that's okay, because I'll show you every brush, every color, and every technique you'll need to get the painting done. So let's just get to the video. Enjoy. Okay, I've got my 16 by 20 canvas in a vertical position that's already covered in a thin coat of liquid white. If you'd like to see how I put on the liquid white, I've got a video just for that you can look at anytime. All right, I'll take my 2-inch brush, the same brush that I used to put on the liquid white, and I'm going to come right up here and grab a little bit of black, and then go into the blue. I'm looking to make a really subdued blue color today. And let's just see what that looks like up on the canvas. All right, so let me just start right here in the center. There we go. I'm just going to bring this across. Not going to have any clouds in the sky today. This is going to be a sky that just gradually gets lighter and lighter and lighter down to the horizon. So I'm just going to put in some color right up here at top. All right, so I got some color in there. I'm going to pick up my mop brush and just blend this. All I'm doing is just turning lightly. Okay. I'm just trying to get a uniform color all the way across the sky. Now I'll start to bring it down. Bring some of this blue down. All right. If I see a little bit of a line, I'll just turn. Really trying to keep that color uniform and slowly getting lighter as it goes down the canvas. I'll pick up a 1-inch landscape brush now, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make a subdued crimson color. So I'll get a little bit of crimson over here. I'll just touch a little bit of brown. All right. I'll just work that in. And let's take a look at this. I'll go right here near the center of the canvas. Just put this color in here. Something about like this. And we'll have water down here today, so I'll put some of this down here where the water's going to be. And once again, I'll go to my mop brush and kind of do the same thing up here. Just fade the edge of it. Just want this to be a really hazy look. Now bring some of this crimson up in the sky, right up there and meet the blue. But we'll keep this general area right here pretty light. All right, that's going to be an important factor in the painting. There we go. And down at the bottom, we'll use the mop brush just to go across quickly. I'll pick up the palette knife and mix up a mountain color. For that, I'll take some black. We'll just do a mixture right here. Some brown, some blue, and some crimson. We'll just mix all that together right there. Okay. Don't have to be perfectly mixed up. Just a nice dark color. I'll get a little roll on the end of the knife and come right over here. And all I do is I just touch the canvas, kind of push upward, come up to where I want my first peak to be, and bring it down. Now what I'm looking for is I'm looking to make sure that the tops aren't too pointy. Not too pointy. I don't like it whenever the tops of my mountains are too sharp in the point. To me, that just doesn't quite look natural. So I put a little bit of a roundedness to the point. Okay? And I'll make another peak. And let's see. We'll bring another peak about right here. I'll do the same thing. I'll just smash it on there and kind of wiggle it over at the top. Bring it down, and we'll let another peak come out right here. There we go. And we'll connect the two. Just like that. All you got to do. And I'll come back to that 2-inch brush. Same one I was using before. We'll just pull some color down. Make the edge of the mountain there. Not too worried about this at all. Just forming the shape of the mountain. That's all we're doing. And we'll bring it down near the bottom. Let it get softer and softer. That'll help to put the mountain into the distance here in a little bit. I'll go back to my palette knife. We'll mix up a little bit of a highlight color. For that, I'll grab some white and a little bit of crimson. All right, we got some crimson in the water and a little in the sky, so we'll just tint the white just a little bit with some crimson. Just get a little roll on the edge of the knife, and I'm just going to touch right up here at this peak. Once I have it where I want it, I just barely bring down. Just barely. Okay. And I think for mountains, we can tend to stress out over them. No need for that. As long as we keep it generally brighter at the tip and let it get darker towards the bottom, it's all going to turn out just fine. Brighten that peak right there. Pretty good. And move on to this peak over here. Same thing. I don't see any need to go super fast with this. Just kind of touch and pull off and touch and pull off at an angle that aligns with the mountain. You can always come back and put more highlight on there if we need to. Now I'm going to mix up the shadow color. We'll do that right down here. And I'll grab some blue. There we go. Little too blue. I'll put some black in that just to dull it down just a bit. Again, I just get a little roll on the edge of the knife. Come back to that initial peak. Just touching gently. Okay. Same technique. Pretty much all the peaks for the shadow side. There we go. And we could take a little bit of that and kind of work it into this valley. All right, let's be done with that. I'll go back to that mop brush and we'll put some mist at the base of this mountain. All I have to do is just go back and forth a little bit and let the mop brush start to come up onto the mountain, but not quite. Follow the general angles of what I got going on here. Just softening up the bottom of the mountain. I'll reach over here and grab my fan brush and we'll build some evergreen trees. For that, I'll just get some of this green right here and come right into that dark mixture that we already had for the mountain. right about here. Just punch in a few trees. Not overly concerned about these. Just tapping straight in, varying the heights of the tops of the trees a little. But again, not overly concerned here. Just getting some trees in here. Okay. And right here on both sides of the mountain, we're going to let a tree extend up into the sky. And that dark color on the light sky is the contrast we're looking for. Looks super, super good. Now, I don't have to do much for these trees. I'm just tapping straight in. That's all I'm doing. Let's bring another one over here. Same thing. Just tapping straight in. Bringing it down. We'll make this one a little taller. There we go. These trees are very, very simple to do. You tap straight in, you turn the top of the fan brush just a little, just enough to put some branches on that thing, and you're done with it. That's all it takes. Now, just below the big trees, we'll extend a little paint into the water. Don't need too much. We'll build some reflections. I'll grab a dry 2-inch brush now. And let's see. I'm just going to come up here. And we'll go over the big trees first. About right here. And just go straight down. Straight down. Best you can. I'm going to wipe that brush out. Do the same thing over here. Okay. And each time I pull down, I wipe the brush out. I don't want to over color this water line. Okay, I want to save a lot of that pink. And once I've gone over the whole thing, I'll turn the brush to the side. We'll go across. Some gentle reflections. There we go. I'll go back to my 2-inch brush. And let's go right into some yellow ochre. And a little green. Yellow ochre and green. That's all I got here. And we'll build some land under these trees. So I'll just pick a spot right here. Just going to drag it over. Not going to worry about this too much. In the distance, I'm not looking for a lot of texture or anything like that. I just need the indication of a little land on the backside of what's going to be a lake. We'll come back later and maybe put some highlights on this thing. But for now, that's all we need. We'll pick up the palette knife again, go through some titanium white, and put a water line in right here. Don't need much. Just right on the edge. Just so we know that's the back end of the lake. That's all we need. Okay, I'm going to go back to my 2-inch brush and get some green. Green, a little yellow ochre, just kind of a mix of colors there. And let's put a foreground in here. And I'll start right about here. Oh, and I know what you're thinking. I just messed up the whole painting. I hope you're not right about that. All right, but I'm just getting some color in here. I'm not overly concerned about it. We'll go back and get some texture in here at a later time. Right now, I'm just getting some color in here. That's all I'm doing. Okay. And I'll set that down, and I'll grab a fan brush and come up here and get some brown. And we'll have a trail right here. We've got to have a little path. If you don't have a little path, it's kind of hard to get down here to this lake. But right now I'm just putting it in. Plenty of time to change it if I need to. I just like to see it. I like to look at the angle to make sure it's going to work with what I got going on here. But people like me who like to fish and hunt and just go enjoy nature need a way to get down there and enjoy it. So that's what this path is for. And I'll go back to my 2-inch brush and just going to blend a little. Just going to take it on its edge and bring some of this grass over the edge of that path. Don't have to be too concerned about it. But when I drag it over, I'll get a little bit of that color on my brush, and that's good because I'll put some different colors in this grass. And that's what we need. Okay. You just work with it and go back and forth till you think it looks right. That's all you really got to do. Not a big deal. I'll go back to my fan brush. And just work it with that again. It really is amazing. The more you kind of go back and forth with the fan brush and kind of touch the edge of the grass there and blend it together, the more the path becomes believable. That's all it needs to be. Okay. I'll even grab a little white just to throw in some highlights on this path. There we go. You can soften them up or leave them exactly as they were when you first put them on. Up to you. I normally work with mine a little and blend them. Okay. I'm going to go back to my 2-inch brush. Same one I put the grass on. Oh, let me see. It's going to get a little brown. Maybe a little black. Get some different tones mixed in there. Okay. Right up here at the edge of the lake, I'm just going to touch right here. I'm going to bend the bristles up and let them hit and let some weeds pop out right at the edge of the lake. All right. To me, I think that looks really good. And now we start to get some texture on the painting. Okay. We'll just flip the brush over using the same brush here. Just pull out some shadows. That's all you got to do. All these different colors and shades and tones, exactly what we're looking for. We'll just make another little line of grass. Do the same thing. Pull out the bottom. And you can do this as much as you like. I'm going to go back to my palette knife now, and we're going to build some rocks. For that, I'm just going to take this same dark mixture that I used for the mountain. And let's see, right about here, lay in a rock. Way too much paint. I just scrape it off. No problem at all. All right, but right here, we'll have us a rock, and we'll put another rock. Where do we want another rock? How about right here? Put another rock sticking out right there. There we go. And at the top of those rocks, we have a little bit of a highlight color. So I'm just going to kind of grab a mixture of colors here. And let's just see how it looks. I just barely touch the top. Give this rock a highlight. Same thing right here. I'm going to go back to my fan brush now. And at the bottom of these rocks, I'm going to put some more grass. Cover up the edge of it. Bring back the shadow. All right. Now it looks pretty good to me. Same thing on this rock. Just covering the edge, bringing out a little grass line. To me, I feel like that looks fairly realistic. Little shadow going right there. You can always adjust the way the grass looks. There we go. Now grab my liner brush and just roll that right through some black. Right through some black. Just bring it to a pretty good point. And maybe we'll have a little bit thicker grass blades sticking out in spots. Maybe even a couple up here, but I don't want to do too much up here. I kind of like the way that grass turned out. But we'll put a couple in there. And how about right here? We just make a tree. All right. If you have trouble getting your paint to glide on, just put a little bit of thinner in it. I try to avoid thinner if I can. And this seems to be working. So we'll just go with what I got here. I'm just going to stick up a couple little branches. Just make a little tree that I like. Don't have to overdo it. Which can be easier said than done sometimes. Sometimes I definitely overdo my trees. We're going to leave that one just like that for now. All right, I'll set that liner down and go back to my palette knife. I'm going to build one more rock right here in the corner. So right here, just to fill that corner up and to cover this edge of the trail, we'll build one more rock. All I got to do is just get some paint in there. Don't have to be too particular about it. All kinds of paint can be on that canvas. It's all good. And same thing, I'll get a little highlight color here. And just barely touch it. There we go. Make us a little rock right here. You gotta leave some of those dark spots. All right, doesn't work without them. Go back to my fan brush and we'll get some green. Okay, make sure I don't have too much paint in there. I just put a little color. You can kind of tell there's some grass right there. Go back to my liner brush and we'll run that through some yellow. All right. And not sure how much you can see this, but just sticking up a couple blades of grass. Lighten it up some so you can see it. There we go. You can see a couple of those. Big old blades right there in front of that rock. That's all we need there. And since I had a little of that light color on that liner, I'll just use it to put a little bit of a highlight on this tree. There you go. Don't need too much. Just a little. Go back to the palette knife, and I'm going to get a little bit of a lighter color. And one more time, I'm going to hit the top of this rock. Right there. So the light's coming in pretty good there, and we're going to do the same thing for these rocks. Give them a little bit more of a light spot. There we go. I'm going to go back to my 1-inch brush and just real quick get some of this yellow, maybe a little white. And right back here, got the sun coming this way. Say the sun is able to hit right there. Put a little light spot right there on that knoll. It's far back there, but I'm still kind of looking at the shape or the angle of the land. We'll let it come this way a little and get darker and darker and darker over to these trees. Okay. I'll pick up my fan brush one more time, and right here we'll put a little texture in the painting and pop up a little grass. Pull it back. Blend it in softly. That's all I'm doing. Grab the old liner brush. Roll it through a little green. Stick up a couple pieces of grass out of that. Some larger grass blades. Always go back and add to the painting. Just a little, but boy, I got to be careful not to overdo it. And just one more thing. I'll get that palette knife one more time, and we'll just put in a couple little watermarks. Just a couple. I'll take a dry brush, any old dry brush, and just blend those in. There we go. And with that, I think we'll call this painting complete. I really hope you enjoyed this painting. I hope you'll give it a try. And remember, until next time, if I can paint, you can too. See you next time.